Are you a very spiritual person?
Am I a very spiritual person?
Yeah.
If you go through what I went through, even if you're not that spiritual, if you see what I've been through in life, you have no choice. I mean, spirituality is what has kept me. I believe I'm divine. I believe in the higher authority, and I know it speaks through me too.
This is the story of TG Omori. This story holds so much weight and is undeniably the most important story I ever told.
I knew I was going to do music videos, but I was still trying to figure my way out.
How did a 6-year-old boy who grew up in the village, has never been in a classroom, end up becoming one of the most sought-after video directors in Nigeria?
To be fair, it was almost impossible to dream that, because sometimes you're just comfortable with where you are because there's absence of dreams. Because like, how dare you dream? Who are you? Who's your dad?
He grew up in a place where dreaming felt impossible. Everything around him was loud, rough, and hard. But inside him, there was a light just waiting to shine.
If you've never been on the journey, you always think people that do it are supernatural. Bro, if it is time, everybody will accept. You don't have to, once you start convincing people that bank on this boy, no, it's not your time. Once it's your time, everything, the whole universe, the stars will align. Everybody will accept it at the same time.
TG Omori is the kind of director who never has a prime, because every year he evolves and outdoes the year before. He is one of the most recognized and highly decorated video directors in Nigeria.
And the award goes to TG Omori.
Most artists that have seen the light always tend to sound some type of way, and some people mistake it for pride, but it's because they have seen a greater light in themselves. But most times you have to also monitor yourself, because it's a thin line that pushes you to the level of pride. And once you get to a certain level of pride, it pushes you to destruction.
But behind the noise, the fame, and the success is just a boy who started with nothing, a boy who didn't just rise but built everything from the ground up, a boy whose creativity rewrote the way a whole nation sees stories. In this video, we spoke about the life of the boy director, TG Omori.
What does life mean to you right now after coming like face to face with death a couple of times?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I've lost my energy.
So sorry.
Yeah? Are you sure?
I'm very sure. I'm happy to see you again in person.
You're the one that's touring the world now, every day on private jets.
Hey, bro. It's been a while, man. Yo, bro, the last time I saw you was like literally 2016.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Remind me the production.
Yeah, it was Fire Dance. At the boy gas.
No way.
Yeah, that was it.
That's my genesis. That's like my second career video. Are you sure? That's like 2016.
Yeah.
No, that's insane. Are you serious? That's far back.
That's far back.
That's almost 10 years. Guy, they won.
Bro.
Yo. That was my second ever music video.
Wow. So what would you say your childhood was like growing up?
My childhood was crazy. I was born in Cross River State. For like 6 years, I was raised by my mom. My dad was in the city here in Lagos. My dad had like where he used to work then, he had it was like a contract kind of thing, and then the investors and all went back. Family had to start from square one. It was so difficult. My dad was like, okay, you know what? Everybody should move back to the village for now. Let me try to figure shit out.
They had no choice but to pack up their entire life and move back to the village. Mind you, his mom was pregnant at the time, and that's where, thank God, Omori was born. In a small village far from Lagos, far from the good life he missed. For years, he lived there waiting for his dad to return, waiting for things to get better, waiting for the moment his dad would come and say, let's go back home.
So till like I was like 7, I never knew how my dad really looked like. So I didn't start school this period. So till like 7 years, I was not in school. My dad was always sending letters and promises that he's coming back. He will come in a month time. He'll come in a month time. So one day, my mom just woke up that this evening we are going to the city. And that was like a very bold step for my mom. Because I was already a village boy proper. I was playing in the dustbins.
Wow.
You know, playing street soccer. Because I was 7 already, no education. So my brain was becoming slow. So finally, The next morning, we got to Lagos. Oh, beautiful. We got to Ojuelegba. I'm seeing Lagos for the first time. Oshodi was crowded. This was like 2002. I've never seen so much people at the same time. It was so fascinating. It was so beautiful. I was just seated by the window looking at everything. Then I got to Marina. Then I was seeing all the high-rise buildings. Felt like I was in Times Square. Felt like I was in New York. Oh my God, this must be the heaven everybody speaks about.
Wow.
Everything was looking so beautiful. I was like, oh, my dad must be a very wealthy man. I already started imagining how well, because I watched some Nollywood films of how rich people be in Lagos. I was already imagining in my head that, yeah. We passed VI, beautiful houses, still going down. We passed Lekki. We will still see some nice buildings. We're still going. We're just going inside the quarter. We're seeing normal houses. We're like, okay, probably if we pass these places, do not stop. We entered the ghetto, inside slum, bamboo houses.
Wow.
My dad saw us. He could not believe his eyes. He had like the shock of his life.
He wasn't expecting you guys.
He wasn't expecting us. Because nobody told him we were coming. And he never wanted us to see him in that condition or in that situation, you know. Me, it would concern me. I don't see my papa. I was just excited. I was just jumping. I don't care. My brother and my sister, they were crying because they know where they were coming from. They know the Lagos they left behind, you know. They used to stay in Unicon. Everything was good and rosy.
TG and his mom ended up staying with his dad in a leaking, flooded one-bedroom apartment, while his older siblings had to return to the village. And this was where his life truly began. At 7 years old, he stepped into a classroom for the first time. Even though he was smart, the environment around him wasn't the best.
So we had leaking roof. Where we were staying, everybody in the hood were like, you can tell that your neighbors were armed robbers, were like gangsters, you know. So I was already getting exposed to so much in the hood already because they were sending me to go buy drugs and all of that.
Wow.
And you want to do it because you get tipped. So many prostitutes, so many trappers, so many drug dealers. You know all the craziest things you can think about. Every day they're fighting, every day the police is busting people. So we couldn't stay there for long. After like, I think a year, my dad was pressured to, because of me, because he knew you could not raise kids in that environment, a child in that environment. I was pressured to move. So we moved from there to Agungi. So Agungi was like more of a community. It was more organized. So we stayed there for like 10 years. So that was where everything all started, you know. I went to secondary school there. I went to Kuramo College, VI. So by 16, 17, I was done with secondary school, and then I started life proper. Wow. And then I started going to church around the same area, Redeemed Christian Church. So it was in church that I was also exposed to acting, entertainment in general.
He became deeply involved in his church drama, and that was where his love for storytelling was born.
I was part of the drama department, so that was where I started discovering my passion for storytelling. So I used to task myself to come out with some new stories every other drama night. So everybody loved me for that, you know. If I'm not in church, everybody will always notice. People started loving and caring. I had no idea or plans to further. It was just something I was doing to also help. Like, you know, when you're in church, you want to also help build the church. Yeah, the church, you know. It was a beautiful time. But as time went on, I tried getting into uni. It was proving very difficult. That was the most depressing time in my life after graduation from school.
How old were you at that time?
I was like 16, 17.
So what challenges did you face trying to enter the university?
Jam with Jammy. I had to write jam twice. It felt like an obstacle that I could not cross. And it was becoming crazier because all my friends were already in school. You know how it be, everybody's now in school. Yeah. So it was around that time I was very sad. My mom is in church. You know, all my godmothers in church. Then I suggested, I said, I want to sit down at home for that 1 year and waste my time. I should go to a film school and do like a short course on acting and probably just sharpen my crafts in performing arts while I'm waiting for next year for JAM to come again, and then I take another JAM form.
So what were you going to study in university?
Law, actually. I was targeting law. But to be fair, I had nothing in mind. That I had no future ambition, I had no plans, I just wanted to just go to school. Probably if I get to school, I'll figure it out. But when I went to film school to study performing arts, then I got introduced to music video directing. Music video directing was other people's passion, and it's so cool. Anytime a new music video drops on Friday, or you see them, they're all analyzing it, they're talking about it, they're criticizing the video in school. We took yourself with me. I just wanted to come and act. I was already getting some extra roles in operas.
So you started off with acting.
I started off as an actor.
Wow.
And I started liking the whole music video thing. You know, and I started putting some attention. So I was not taking music video classes or all of that. So I started doing some few research. Still not very interested, but I mean, who knows? So after I left film school, I now had access to cameras. And then I started shooting viral videos for all my friends in the hood as a practical test for myself. So every time I learn on YouTube, I pick up a camera, go to the hood, gather my boys, and they'll shoot all those trap videos with dog, uncompleted video, no black, all that shit.
What year was this?
This was like 2015.
Wow.
So I did this for like a year. We're just using it to practice. Then finally opportunity showed up to shoot. It came in as a miracle. I knew I was gonna do music videos, but I was still trying to figure my way out, you know. So the way the project even came was like a miracle, you know. I just finished fresh out shooting my first major music video. I was like, okay, this is it. The hustle has started, you know. But I was still doing events. I used to work in a company then. I was literally working for free because that was not what I was supposed to be doing. I was a writer, but I can't just sit down in the office from Monday to Friday waiting for scripts to come. So sometimes I just go to events with them. So one of the events we went to, the guy came to perform. He came in with his crew, but his videographer messed up. So he's not looking for anybody that had footages from the show. So somebody now saw me at the show. And I said, saw one guy with a camera. So now I gave him my contact. So now reached out to me that, yo, if I have footages from the performances, please, you doesn't mind paying anything to get it. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm gonna edit it. And it wasn't like I had no access to the footages because I just came with my guys. So I went to get also my guys and collected the footages, edited it, sent it to him. And the edit was so new school. You know, like it was different from how people edited performances. So he was blown away. Wow. So I told him that, bro, this is not just what I do. I make music videos, so let me show you what I've done. So I was able to convince him. He saw what I could do with the edits, made him look like a mega superstar. Because that's like one of the first things I always look out for when I meet a client or an artist. I just want to make him larger than life, you know. I want him to have that feeling. So he loved how he was feeling, and then he gave me some nice funds then. I was willing to go all out. That's why I was shot at the shrine, did all of that. It was a wonderful feeling, actually. That's like the genesis of everything. Then I had no 5 naira to my name, no house. I was staying in a vocal booth. Couldn't go back home. I was broke. I just had dreams. I was very determined, you know, so.
So, at any point, did you ever see yourself being the biggest music video director in Nigeria?
Okay, no, not from the onset. To be fair, it was almost impossible to dream that. With music videos, initially, I used to think to be a music video director, you're gonna need a big, massive studio. You have to own all your cameras, all your rigs, you know, so it was not even a possible dream. So that's why I never even attempted it. So even when I started shooting, I just wanted to be like the underground guy, just making cool money to buy new sneakers. Because sometimes you're just comfortable with where you are because there's absence of dreams. Being the biggest was never even in the agenda in the first place. Because like, how dare you dream? Who are you? Who's your dad? If you've never been on the journey, you always think people that do it are supernatural. But once you're on the journey, you understand that this thing is just has to do with consistency, attention to details, taking every job like it's your last. For like 3 years, I was just a comfortable guy, just shooting for basic amounts, trying to get enough money to like go on some soft holiday, travel, buy some nice sneakers, stay in a nice hotel, live the life I couldn't live as a ghetto youth. For me then, shooting a 700k music video, and then cost of production was like 500k. And probably I'll get like 200k at the end of every video. And in a month, I was probably shooting like 5 videos. So I probably make $1 million in a month. Then, you can't tell me nothing. I don't even want anything again. To me, I was fine. I was comfortable. But one day, me and my friend, Danny, she's a female rapper. She had a show in Abuja. So she hollered at me and was like, yo, TJ, if you're free, let's go for a show. I have a show in Abuja. I've got Transcorp Hilton. I have like some extra rooms. If you just want to come chill with the gang. I was like, Transcorp Hilton extra rooms, where my Abuja shirt is. So we got to Abuja. Burna Boy was headlining. So she was supposed to be opening. We got to the show. There was mad traffic. We were trying to get them to perform. They said we can't go up again because Burna Boy is already here. It's going to come up any moment from now. So they're trying to clear the stage for him. So we're heartbroken because we flew away from Lagos for this show. And you don't get paid enough, or you don't even get paid at all. So we're shot backstage causing trouble. Then Burna Boy started coming. With all the troubles we were trying to cause, nobody sent us. The whole crowd, everybody turned around. Wherever he was the stage. So as he was walking down, the whole crowd were just like, there was one artist performing on stage. Everybody forgot that there was an artist on stage. Wow. Everybody turned around. As he was walking, everybody were just shouting. So that was the first time I was seeing an A-list artist up close, body shining, coming in the crowd, everybody shouting. I was like, I like it. Then I like the vibe, like, because I saw greatness and I appreciated greatness. This is lit. I want to pull this off too. Everybody was shouting. I was just standing there. People would think I was starstruck. No, I wasn't. I was just in my head. I was like, oh, okay, it's possible. That was what I was just saying in my head. That this is not a human being now. This is a man like me. It's very possible. So the energy was so strong that I could feel it. That night we went home, I couldn't sleep. 6 a.m. I was up, I was standing by the window, I was looking at the sunrise. I was like, this is going to be my last year as an ordinary person.
By 2019, he was speaking about his future with a level of confidence most people don't even speak about their present. He spoke with conviction. He believed with zero doubt. He manifested the life he knew was his.
2019 like this, from January 1st. In fact, 2019 was so crazy that on New Year Day I was shooting. Straight attack. That was 2019. By April, I shot at my Yahoo Boy. Boom. And there's something about the universe. Once they see your energy and you are real, they are going to align. Now, how I got to shoot at my Yahoo Boy, it came in from Zlatan. So me and Zlatan were supposed to shoot. But then I've already stood on business that if it's not like 1M, I'm not shooting. At this time, I've already shot Oja for Reminisce. So my CV was already hot. I've shot for YC. I shot my side for YC. I shot Young L, Fade Ricardo Banks. So this was already in March. I've already had these names on my CV already in March. Then Naramai just texted me from nowhere. I just saw my DM. The first message he sent me, he said, "Am I Yahoo Boy?" That's the craziest DM ever. Zlatan has already texted me that Naira is going to text me, that they just spoke about it. that was shot and it was generally accepted by everybody. It's one thing for you to put that out, and it's one thing for everybody to accept it. Accept that this is it. Bro, if it is time, everybody will accept. You don't have to, once you start convincing people that bank on this boy, no, it's not your time. Once it's your time, everything, the whole universe, the stars will align. Everybody will accept it at the same time. That's the biggest PR. It's not about, people spend billions of PR trying to convince people to buy a product. No. When it is time, the product to convince people, everybody at the same time, at the same minute. People try to force it. It's not your time. Once it's your time, the same swag way they do when they enter scenes, people will be like, that is it. People come to me. A lot of people always come to me for branding tips. Tell them, God is the best and ultimate creative director. Once he shines his light on you, the rag you are wearing is the swag. I just knew it was my time. And every video I was doing felt like I've never seen any other video before. Sometimes I look at my video and I see people scream and I be like, you can't tell me people have never seen a video madder than this before. Then I sit back and just laugh. I'll be like, it's just your time, boy.
And then it happened. He dominated the music video industry, hit after hit. Each video became better than the last. Achievements getting louder, bigger, and impossible to ignore.
Most artists that have seen the light always tend to sound some type of way, and some people mistake it for pride, but it's because they've seen a greater light in themselves. But most times you have to also monitor yourself, because it's a thin line that pushes you to the level of pride. And once you get to a certain level of pride, it pushes you to destruction.
Are you a very spiritual person?
Am I a very spiritual person?
Yeah. Like, do you go to church? Do you believe in God?
If you go through what I went through, even if you're not that spiritual, if you see what I've been through in life, you have no choice. I mean, spirituality is what has kept me. I believe I'm divine. I believe in the higher authority. And I know he speaks through me too. And he lives in me too. And I speak to him. And he answers when he chooses to answer. Because you can't question him. He answers when, why, and what, and who he chooses to answer to. Because he's the supreme being. That's what I believe. Of course, I go to church. I love praise and worship. It's a beautiful time. I don't like praying too much. I feel like if he lives in me, then he knows. If the Holy Spirit lives in me, then he knows all of my problem. Praying and shouting feels like I'm doubting his powers and his ability to see. He's omnipotent and omniscience. He can see the beginning from the end. He knows the beginning from the end. So I do say prayers of thanksgiving and prayers of mercy. Because I feel like the only important prayer is the prayer for mercy and forgiveness. Every other prayer, prayers for request. What do you know that you want to request for? The money you are asking for, do you know if he's putting you away from the money because he's going to save you? Do you understand? Like you shouting every day, forcing him to give you this, while he has bigger plans. It's only a sin that is blocking and hindering the blessings of God in your life. So if you repent of your sins every morning and try not to go back to them, I don't think anything should be able to restrict his blessings upon your life. So that's just my few ideology on church and spirituality.
What does life mean to you right now after coming like face to face with death a couple of times?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Life to me right now is just about love. It's just love. Just want to live, love, enjoy every moment, because it just dawned on me that no one is going to be here forever, so just love, no hate, love. And love is like the ultimate language and the ultimate commandment. If you love yourself, every other thing is going to be easy and beautiful. I've lost my energy.
So sorry.
And here is why this interview matters a lot to me. I didn't meet him at his strongest, and even then, his strength is unmistakable. He insisted on telling his story, tired or not, hurting or not, because this isn't just a filmmaker talking. It's a man standing at the edge of himself, turning the hardest chapters of his life into light.
I had to go into the theater 3 times. On the first night, on the first try, So that's a lot. And then coming out and then they have to go back again. It was even crazier. And then going back again and coming out and still have to deal with late recovery. It's even way more crazier. But in everything you give thanks, My heart and goes out to everyone living with kidney issues. It's one of the worst things that can happen to anybody. I can't even wish it to my worst enemy. Because first, it's so financially draining. Like, money has no value to you. Every money you make, you just wanna, you don't even care, you just wanna live. You just keep pumping it, put it into your health every other day so that I can still keep drawing breath. I'm not talking about thousands, I'm talking about millions every other week. That's why a lot of people actually die, because the pain is unbearable, and if you have money to subsidize the pain, you're literally gone. But how long can your money carry you? Shout out to God for still keeping us alive, for still giving us another day to create, another day to witness the TJ Omori video. Life is beautiful. You can never really understand until you have to pay so much to have the easiest and the simplest things in life. I don't want you to feel emotional. So let's keep to the good part.
So when you wake up every morning, what are you most grateful for?
I mean, of course, life. But I've come to understand that the life we are living is borrowed. I'm 30, people have died way younger, and people have died way older. There's no cut-off mark for when people die. It's part of the laws of life. There's the law of reaping and sowing. There's the laws of, which is under the laws of time. To born and to die is part of it. If you must born, you must die. The earlier people accept it, the better. So sometimes it doesn't move me. Probably because of how much I've seen. I'm more focused on creating, making beautiful art, loving the people I care about, or even loving everyone, and loving Jesus Christ.
What's your legacy? How do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be seen?
How do I want to be seen? How do I want to be remembered? What if I don't want to be remembered? It's not in our position or in our power to be remembered. Of course, I don't want to be idolized. I wish not to be idolized. But yes, remembered. But these things are just time-based. In 200 years from now, people might not be talking about these things. Yeah. There used to be superstars 1,000 years ago that nobody knew about today. So people focus on these things so much, and they lose their sense of life and living. The world is actually not in our powers. We are just very small, tiny objects. If you get on a plane, your house is going to be lost you don't understand? If you fly a drone up now, you might not see this house. So we are just very small little piece in this billion of galaxies, not Earth, planet. You know? So just live every moment, enjoy. Don't worry about what people are going to think about you. Don't worry about any crazy legacy. Just want to be a good person. Impact as much as I can. And show people a reason to believe in themselves. Except for me.
TG Omori's life was never a straight line. It's a long journey, one that moves through darkness, pain, and discovery. And even now, he's still walking.
We post videos like this every week, so make sure you like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications so you never miss a video from us.